So just a quick question. Who feels like stress is impacting their physical health, mental health, and emotional health? And do you feel like stress is impacting your hormones? Yes. So you are right. Stress is a big factor in our overall health. So we're going to be spending some time today just discussing sort of the impact of stress, some hormonal issues that we're being faced with, and what we can do about it. So I've had the pleasure of being in practice for about 14 years. I've attracted a lot of women to my practice, and throughout the years have seen common concerns coming in. A lot of them related to stress, but many complaints related to low energy, difficulty sleeping, difficulty coping, feelings of anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, depressed, and that, of course, coming into play in terms of different disorders, concerns impacting the immune system, digestion, fertility, menopausal symptoms, and so many others. So, of course, when we have this sort of conversation, we need to understand the importance of our hormones and what they are, because stress will impact our hormones, and hormonal imbalance will impact our ability to cope with stress. So what are hormones? Hormones are basically chemical messengers in our body. They help balance and respond to different systems, our immune system, nervous system, digestive system. So all systems are connected, okay? That's why it's so important to have this chat about hormones and what we can do, because they are so important in terms of regulating sleep, regulating blood sugar levels, our metabolism, and so many areas, okay? And you can see here, we have a little bit of a complex pathway in terms of how hormones are produced, but the elements are quite simple, and there's some easy strategies that we can put into place to allow for proper hormonal balance. So let's take a look at what impacts our hormones. We have external factors and internal factors, okay? And sort of the core of what we're going to be talking about today. So externally, we're looking at the influence of environmental toxins, stress, and in particular, our perception of stress, as well as our diet and lifestyle. And internal factors that we sort of need to examine include our adrenal health, thyroid gland, our ovaries, and of course our liver being one of our major organs of detoxification. Okay, so we're going to look at these areas as we go through our talk today. And really these are a lot of the areas that naturopathic doctors focus on when they start working with patients, sort of at the foundational level, looking at diet, lifestyle, digestive health, liver health, and then moving to these other areas of adrenal, thyroid function, and other systems that might come into play. So one of the main hormonal imbalances that's taking place right now is known as estrogen dominance, okay? In this case, we have sort of a higher level of estrogen compared to progesterone, okay? One of the reasons this is coming into play is our body naturally produces estrogen, which is great. We need estrogen, okay? But we're also being exposed to synthetic estrogens or bad estrogens from our environment, okay? And of course, this is creating sort of an imbalance between our estrogen and our progesterone levels, and creating, again, this condition known as estrogen dominance. So in our environment, we're exposed to a number of chemicals, okay, pretty much living in a toxic soup. So we have over 21 billion pounds of toxic chemicals that are released into our environment by industries each year. And of course, a number of these are recognized as carcinogens. We are also exposed to these bad estrogens or xenoestrogens in our homes, okay, our work environments as well. So things like plastic containers or plastic bottles that we might be storing our food and water in. Some of our personal care products, such as traditional shampoos, body lotions, toothpastes, deodorants, okay, nail polish, dry cleaning as well, and a host of others, including household cleaners that we may be using to clean our toilets and sinks and all that kind of stuff, okay? So we want to move away in terms of reducing our exposure to a lot of these toxins. It's hard to do that in our external environment, okay? But we can do it in our homes and to a certain extent in our work environments as well. What are some changes that you think you could make in your homes to reduce your exposure to some of these products? So instead of dryer sheets, using dryer balls as well, which are usually made of wool, you can add essential oils too, and will also help in terms of making your laundry smell nice. Yeah, that's great. Anything else? Air fresheners, yeah, nebulizers, air diffusers, right? With essential oils again, great. Make your own household cleaners, so using things like tea tree oil, apple cider vinegar, baking soda, really great. Yep, and one more? Right. Perfect. So personal care products, house cleaners, you're looking for products that are free of a lot of these toxins, free of parabens, things that are free of heavy metals, fragrances, phthalates, all of these things that are acting as xenoestrogens in our bodies. Perfect. So lots of solutions there, and if you need more ideas, we can chat after. So why are these toxins so toxic? Okay, of course we talked about this idea of estrogen dominance, a higher level of estrogen compared to progesterones. These toxins are changing our overall body chemistry, okay, how we function, not only on a hormonal level, but neurologically, our digestive systems as well. Of course, they create carcinogenic compounds, increasing our risk of different types of cancers. They are altering our normal hormonal pathways, so really leading to concerns in terms of fertility, aggravated menopausal symptoms, and a host of others. These toxins also mimic natural estrogen, and they convert good estrogens into bad estrogens. Again, sort of creating this picture of estrogen dominance. So these are just a few signs and symptoms that can take place with estrogen dominance. So I often see this in practice. General daily living, again, will impact this. People who have been on a long history of birth control use will also have sort of this picture. And of course, other reasons in terms of liver function and that sort of thing may also play a role here. But we're looking at common things like bloating, breast tenderness, acne, migraines, okay? Oftentimes people come in with a concern of belly fat, okay? And say, I eat well, I'm working out, but I still can't lose this area of fat. And this is one area that I look at for a lot of people. Hot flashes, changes in mood, such as depression. And of course, we're looking at this condition of estrogen dominance also increasing the risk of uterine fibroids, different types of cancer, osteoporosis, okay? So many other conditions, concerns besides what's listed here. So we did talk about ways that we can kind of change what we're using in our homes and in our bodies. What are some other ways that we can reduce or eliminate some of these toxins? So some basic techniques that you can incorporate include drinking a cup of warm water with a little bit of lemon, fresh lemon juice each day. Lemon is a great detoxifier for the liver and our other organs of detoxification. It's a really simple way, cheap way that you can kind of get things moving in the morning, okay? It doesn't have to replace your morning coffee if you're worried about that, but certainly a good technique to just help you cleanse and detoxify, okay? Incorporating cruciferous vegetables, okay? So these includes things like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, these contain a component called indole 3-carbinol, okay, which is an important compound that helps detoxify, break down a lot of these bad estrogens, okay? So these are foods that you don't have to totally revamp your diet, okay? These are foods that you can add on a daily basis to lunch and dinners as part of salads and stir fries and soups and that sort of thing. Really easy addition. And other detox foods such as beets, okay, artichokes, turmeric, really fantastic in terms of supporting the liver and acting as an antioxidant. Apples, okay, so you're looking at foods that have a high fiber level, okay, and are also great again in terms of supporting your bowels, supporting your kidneys, supporting your livers, okay. So again, it doesn't mean you have to totally revamp your diets. You can add some of these foods to what you might already be eating in the initial stages, okay, and start to make positive changes in this respect. So is anyone familiar with the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15? So most of you. Okay, so this is a list that comes out from the Environmental Working Group every year. The Dirty Dozen being the foods that have the highest amount of pesticides and toxins, okay, the Clean 15 being the least amount. So again, when we're looking at reducing our toxic load, again, these toxins acting as xenoestrogens, it's important to make sure that you're eating foods that don't have a high level of these toxins, okay? So ideally, yes, we want to buy everything organic. Doesn't work obviously sometimes for financial reasons or what we have access to. So following this list, Dirty Dozen, is really great in terms of these are the foods that you should really buy in organic form. Moving your body, really important. Exercise and dry skin brushing are really great activities to get your lymphatics moving, okay, and get your circulation going. All part and part of just trying to detoxify and remove toxins. And of course, there are, as we know, a number of natural health products that exist that help with so many health conditions. And when it comes to helping to reduce the level of xenoestrogens, we want to look at products that contain specific ingredients that help to support the liver, okay, and help in the breakdown of these bad estrogens, okay? So that includes things like indole 3-carbinol, calcium D-glucarate, some really great liver herbs like milk thistle, turmeric, okay? Antioxidants as well, such as lycopene, rosemary, okay? So EstroSense is an example of this type of product. There are others on the market, okay? But again, they are looking at combining natural health products that work to improve the metabolism of these bad estrogens as well as support your liver. And when this happens, okay, when you look at making some of these dietary changes, incorporating some of these lifestyle techniques, you will see improvements in skin, in mood, in weight gain, okay? PMS symptoms, breast tenderness, cycle regulation, and flow, okay? So some things to take a look at when you're looking at natural health products in this area. So what stresses you out? Family, okay. Christmas, okay. Holidays, maybe. Anything else? Job? Money? Yep. Perfect. Pretty much consensus among many people that I work with. Job, family, relationships, past experiences, media, social media, what's going on in the world, politics, all of these causing stress, okay, on men and women, okay. Women tend to be stressed out more than men. And about 36% of Canadians felt so stressed it affected their daily lives. And I do see this on a daily basis, and I'm sure you see it for yourself and your family and your friends, that stress is really taking a big role in terms of our daily living, okay, and how we're able to cope. And of course, chronic stress will put us at an increased risk for anxiety, depression, digestive problems, heart issues, sleep issues. And of course, we're seeing this in young people as well. okay? Even early adolescents, young children. I've worked with even 5-year-olds that have anxiety and stress levels, difficulty coping at school. So this is a big thing that we need to pay attention to. And what helps us cope in our physical bodies with stress is the adrenal glands. They're commonly called the stress glands, okay? They produce a variety of hormones, in particular our stress hormones that help us cope with stress. And our bodies generally can cope with acute stress, okay? Whether it be the holidays or some deadline at work or something at school, that sort of thing. The problem comes into play when we're exposed to chronic stress. Okay, and that chronic stress, when it's not dealt with properly, can put a strain on the adrenal glands and lead to a condition known as adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion. And I just talked to somebody earlier today who said adrenal fatigue is not a real diagnosis. And yes, from a conventional perspective, your medical doctor might sometimes say that's not true, that's not real. From a naturopathic perspective, we take adrenal health very seriously, okay? Think it is very important, and people do present with a lot of signs and symptoms associated with adrenal fatigue and exhaustion. And that includes common symptoms, usually in the earlier stages, of course, fatigue, difficulty kind of getting up and going in the morning, difficulty coping, cravings, especially coffee, salt, sugar, okay? Problems with regulating blood sugar levels, difficulty focusing, having memory lapses, changes in mood, low libido, dark circles under the eyes, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So chronic stress, again, can impact our overall adrenal health and come into place a lot of these signs and symptoms. Okay? And oftentimes in the beginnings, I usually see people having a lot of cravings, feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, and then seeing a little bit more in terms of changes in mood, difficulty recovering, of course, impact on the immune system as well. Just getting sick a lot and recovering very slowly. So can you restore your adrenal glands? Yes, you can, depending on the degree of adrenal fatigue. It could take a bit of time, okay, depending on what you're doing. And of course, if you're constantly exposed to these stressors, that will also play a role in your overall recovery. But definitely we want to look at what are you eating, okay? We want to look at a fresh, whole food diet. Fresh fruits and vegetables, good quality proteins, whole grains if you are eating any grains at all, okay? Good quality fats in the form of omega-3s, coconut oil. And really, a lot of times I'm working with people in terms of eliminating the extras, okay? The packaged processed foods, the too much coffee, the not enough water, okay? The too much sugar, that kind of stuff that we're working with. Getting sufficient sleep is so important as well, so getting to bed at a decent hour, and if you are having difficulty shutting down in the evening, then looking at ways to help calm down your nervous system. So whether it's, sleeping in a really dark room, minimizing noise disruption, light disruption, okay? Incorporating different supplements that might help in terms of helping you get it to sleep more quickly. Sleep is so key, and I don't think we pay enough attention to it because we're so busy in the evenings trying to get done what we didn't get done during the day, and it's just a little bit of a vicious cycle. So we do try to, when I see people having difficulty with adrenals and difficulty with sleep, I do have them try to get to bed around 9:30. Everyone laughs at me when I say that, but it really is important in terms of helping you to reestablish that sleep, good sleep habits. Slowing down, eating properly. We'll talk about some key nutrients to help restore your adrenal glands. Of course, reducing the excess coffee, black teas, energy drinks. These will just act as stimulants, okay? So you want to look at more hydrating alternatives, water, coconut water, herbal teas, smoothies. And I'm sure also if you've read about adrenal health, you've probably read about natural health products that help to restore your adrenals and help just sort of modulate your stress hormones, okay, and the impact that they're having on your systems. So you might have heard about B vitamins, vitamin C, magnesium. These are all key nutrients in terms of helping to restore your adrenal glands. There are also botanicals that are available, okay? These are called adaptogenic herbs. They include things like rhodiola, maca, ginseng. There's a whole slew of them, okay? Basically, they work, again, to reduce the impact of your stress hormones on your body, help to restore your adrenal gland health, and help you cope with stress a little bit better. And another conversation I had today with someone was that but they didn't want to lose that adrenaline rush that they were experiencing during the day if they took some type of formula like AdrenaSense. So that adrenaline rush, although it gives you that kick over a period of time, it can be damaging. Okay, so the point of that is just to kind of offset the negative impact that high cortisol levels will have on your body. There's lots of research showing the impact of high cortisol in terms of increasing inflammation, increasing brain health, our heart health, our digestive function, and so many other areas. Okay, so what we want to do is try to reduce that from happening. Okay. This particular formula also contains suma. Suma is a great botanical. It's really a restorative tonic. Has a lot of nutrients associated with it as well as Schisandra, which helps to support the liver, okay, and normalizes our overall function. So formulas like this can be taken long-term if you feel like you're going to be under stress for a particular period of time. They can also be taken short-term. Some people start something like this, then stop. That's sometimes when you notice the difference in terms of how you react to a supplement or not, and when you don't have it, okay? So can changing how you perceive stress make you healthier? What do you think? Yes? It's right there. Yes. So in one study, researchers tracked 30,000 adults for 8 years. They asked, are you under stress, a lot of stress? Do you think stress is harmful? The study used public records to see who died. The people who experienced a lot of stress had a 43% increased risk of dying and actually had a higher chance of premature death. But here's the catch. It was only true with the people who believe stress to be harmful. Okay? People who did not view stress as harmful had the lowest risk of dying. Okay? So this goes back to this idea of stress. Yes, we all experience it. Well, I don't think we can completely get rid of it, unfortunately, but how can you process the stress and how can you perceive it on a daily basis, okay? And this is a step-by-step process. This is a big piece to overall health in terms of how we perceive things, how we react to things as well. So being negative only makes a difficult journey more difficult. You may be given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. Okay? So I'll leave that with you because I do think it is a big thing. And I find it one of the most challenging parts of practice and working with people is helping them change the way they think about things. And oftentimes it's the obstacle to their cure. So when we talk about hormones, we definitely have to look at the thyroid. Such a big concern for a lot of people, okay? About 1 in 10 Canadians suffer from a thyroid condition of one type or another. About 50% are actually undiagnosed, and I see this often too when I ask individuals, how's your thyroid? Does your doctor test your thyroid? Yep, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. We read thyroid levels differently than conventional practitioners, so we'll talk about that in a few slides. Women are more likely to have a thyroid concern, and thyroid hormones are really important in terms of helping us produce energy in our body, helping us with weight loss, managing our metabolism as well. So I'm just going to focus on low thyroid concerns, okay, or hypothyroid. So common complaints that occur with low thyroid include no energy, weight gain and difficulty losing weight, cold intolerance, hair loss and brittle nails, constipation, headaches, infertility. Just a few. So thyroid assessment is generally done as part of your annual workups, hopefully, okay? Oftentimes, at a minimum, your TSH is tested. Your TSH is produced by the brain. Depending on your T4, T3 levels, that will kind of work on a feedback mechanism. If you have sufficient T4, T3, TSH won't be produced. If you don't have enough, TSH will be produced to help kind of produce your T4, T3. Your thyroid gland, which is located on your neck, produces T4 and T3. T4 converts to T3. T4 is more abundant, but T3 is more active. Okay? When people are diagnosed with hypothyroidism, they're often prescribed T4 or Synthroid. Okay? So nothing's done in terms of helping the conversion process of T4 to T3. So I often see people, they get an initial improvement with being prescribed Synthroid, but not to a point where they feel completely better, okay? So in those cases, then Synthroid medication, the dosage is increased, okay? But then the cycle repeats itself, because again, you're not doing anything to support this T4 to T3 conversion, you're just giving more T4, okay? And if your body can't convert that, then the cycle just, again, repeats itself. The other thing to consider with low thyroid function is that 80% of people or women with adrenal exhaustion also have low thyroid, okay? So again, we want to look at how can we support the conversion of T4 to T3, and do we need to address the adrenal glands or not? Okay? So oftentimes, we're just focusing on one system, but that's not how the body works. The adrenal glands, the thyroid, female ovaries, they're all connected. Okay, so we want to look at all of those systems together. Okay, so some ways, if you do have low thyroid function, taking a look at some of the foods that you're eating, so eating foods that are rich in iodine, okay, so incorporating things like kelp, nori, seaweeds, helping manage stress, and of course looking again at ways that you may need to support your adrenal glands. Avoiding GMO soy, so consuming more fermented non-GMO soy in moderation. Minimizing your intake of raw goitrogens, okay? Goitrogens are from either drugs, chemical, foods that actually disrupt the production of your thyroid hormone in the body, okay, because they interfere with the uptake of iodine. And that includes things like broccoli, kale, cabbage, cauliflower. And if you remember, I did talk about the benefits of these foods in terms of helping estrogen metabolism, okay? But in this case of low thyroid, you want to eat these foods in a cooked form. And also avoiding fluoride exposure and bromine exposure. These inhibit the absorption of iodine and will also impact your ability to make thyroid hormones, okay? So we're looking at water supply, toothpaste, different pharmaceuticals, cookware, the use of cell phones, baking ingredients, that sort of thing, okay? So again, there's also natural health products that are manufactured to help to support the thyroid, and in particular help support the conversion of this T4 to T3. So oftentimes these formulations include minerals that help the conversion, things like selenium and iodine, zinc is another one. Different herbal medicines as well, ashwagandha, really key. Google, these are really important in terms of helping with overall thyroid hormone production. So formulas like this generally can be taken along with Synthroid, but with any natural health product, I do encourage you to speak with a healthcare provider to make sure it is appropriate for you and your particular situation. Okay, so of course another hormonal concern that we are looking at is menopause. Menopause is not a disease, it's a transition, okay? And there are women that go through menopause without any symptoms. Okay. Oftentimes in those cases, we're looking at adrenal and thyroid being balanced. Okay, so when those are kind of your foundation and balanced and in good working order, usually the transition to menopause goes a little bit more smoothly. Okay, because don't forget, as you go into menopause, your ovaries don't work as much in terms of hormone production. A lot of the focus then gets turned to the adrenal glands for hormone production, and if they're not working properly, then you're going to have a harder time during perimenopause and menopause. So typical menopausal symptoms: hot flashes, vaginal dryness, irregular periods, changes in mood, insomnia, headaches, bladder incontinence. Okay. So things we want to look at here, just eliminating any food triggers. If you know there's particular foods that aggravate menopausal symptoms, spicy foods, coffee, alcohol, you want to avoid these. Of course, supporting the adrenals and thyroid also come into play here, really important. And increasing the amount of phytoestrogens in your diet. Things like flaxseed, tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed per day, really great in terms of not only fiber support, but providing some phytoestrogens to the body. Other foods such as oats and rye and lentils, really great. And you'll also hear about different natural health products, again, that help in terms of minimizing some of the signs and symptoms associated with menopause. Menosense is an example of this. It combines botanicals such as Donquay, black cohosh, Vitex, all great in terms of balancing hormones, okay? There's also some gamma-rosinol coming from rice bran oil that's been shown to provide support for hot flashes and support the pituitary and hypothalamus glands, okay? And hesperidin, which comes from citrus flavonoid that supports the vascular system and helps to reduce hot flashes. And of course, we start to set the stage for bone health in the early years, okay, as children and adolescents. And if we haven't paid a lot of attention to how we're supporting our bones as kids and as we've grown, we're also looking at solutions to maintain overall bone health, okay, and the impact of hormones on our bones, okay. So of course, women start to experience changes in bone health during menopause because of the loss of estrogen, okay? And we know that bone is living tissue, and of course we want to be able to support it. So if we have balanced hormones, okay, if we've taken the time to balance adrenals, thyroid, support our overall systems and balance hormones, then we're in a better place to ensure that we have healthy bones, okay? But in case we haven't, okay, just some things to kind of incorporate. So making sure you're reducing the amount of caffeine, alcohol, refined sugars. These really work in terms of leaching calcium from the bones, okay, and causing them to be a little bit more brittle. We want to maintain more of an alkaline environment, okay, so increasing your consumption of leafy greens, really key, which also supplies a good content of vitamin K. Again, another really important nutrient in terms of supporting the bones and cardiovascular health. Of course, we want to increase our good fats, calcium-rich foods. We want to optimize digestion. This is another key area that naturopathic doctors look at. Proper digestive support is really important to make sure anything that you're taking is being absorbed appropriately, okay? So we look at enzymes and how enzymes are functioning. We're looking at probiotics and level of probiotics and that sort of thing, and good bacteria, and making sure those things are in place for optimal digestive function. Ensuring you're incorporating an exercise program that has both cardiovascular and strength training exercises. And of course, other bone builders such as calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, and trace minerals such as magnesium and zinc, and others that really play a role in terms of maintaining overall bone health. So that's at the core. What happens as we age is that we lose collagen levels, okay, and collagen production, okay. Collagen is one of the most abundant proteins in the body. It's one of the main components of our connective tissue, so it's important for the health of our hair, skin, nails, bones, ligaments, okay, and other areas, our blood vessels as well. The main cells that produce collagen are known as fibroblasts, okay. And keratin is known as the key structural component of our hair, skin, nails, and is actually dependent on collagen production. So if we are losing or have reduced collagen production as we age, and that's a natural process for everybody, once we reach the age 21, our production declines. This will impact the overall health of our hair, skin, nails, and bones, okay? So looking at the health of your nails is a key indicator of what your bone health is, okay? So again, collagen, unfortunately, production decreases 1% per year beginning at the age of 21, okay? The average woman's skin decreases in thickness by 7% every 10 years. And keratin starts to diminish as early as age 18. Again, a key component for hair, skin, and nails. And then as we enter menopause, unfortunately, the process continues, okay? So we have a loss of 30% of skin collagen in the first 5 years. Skin thickness declines 1.13% per year, and skin elasticity also declines, okay? So we see emergence of fine wrinkles and lines and sagginess of skin and all that good stuff. Change in hair quality and nails as well, okay? So the things that I talked about in terms of prevention of bone loss is really important, okay? Maintaining an alkaline diet, supporting your digestive health, really key. Incorporating some of those nutrients like calcium and vitamin D and vitamin K, all key, okay? So if you're looking for a little bit more support, silica is a really great mineral as well, okay? I'm sure you've heard of silica gel and horsetail as a botanical as well. These are sources of silica. BioSil is an example, another sort of product in this area. One of the key differences with BioSil is that it's like silica bind to choline molecule, which means it's just absorbed more readily, okay? And it also helps your body produce its own collagen, okay? Versus taking an animal source of collagen or fish source of collagen, okay? Not to say that those collagen supplements don't work. People find benefit with them, but oftentimes if you can support your body's own ability to produce, okay, that's better. So this is where BioSil comes into play, okay? So improvements that have been seen in terms of skin density and elasticity and hair quality and nail. I can't see the percentages right now because just the way the screen is, but I'm sure you can see there. Just the research behind BioSil has been very supportive in terms of its ability to support hair, skin, nails, and bone, and cardiovascular health as well. So it comes in two different forms. There's liquid, okay, and capsule form. Kind of your preference in terms of what you would like to take. Economically, the drops last longer, okay? There is a slight taste with the drops. You can put it in a little bit of juice or water, take it like that. If not, then the capsules is a suitable alternative. We have a few minutes left, so I just want to talk about the importance of fish oil, okay? So again, fish oil is really key in terms of helping support our hormones, okay, and our brain health, and helping with memory and focus. So of course, balanced hormones means we have optimal brain function, and fish oils really play a key role in terms of helping with hormone production and providing the nutrients for our brain, but also our cardiovascular system, our immune system, our joints, because omega-3s act as anti-inflammatory properties, helping skin, and great for all ages, okay? Fish oils have come a long way, okay? If I recommend a liquid or soft gel, it kind of depends on the person. Both are fine. In terms of taste of fish oils, again, they've come a long way, so they don't taste as fishy anymore, but I do encourage you to look for a fish oil that is tested, okay? In particular, has the IFOS testing. That's a third-party certification in terms of being tested for purity and potency, okay? Triglyceride fish oils are great as well. They're just readily absorbed into the body too, okay? And recommendations for fish oil in terms of dosage just really depends on what you are using it for, okay? So there's different dosage recommendations for fish oil based on if you're using it as an anti-inflammatory to help in arthritic conditions, or if you're using it to support cardiovascular health, if you're using it in pregnancy and that sort of thing, okay? So again, if you have questions about that, feel free to come ask me afterwards. Okay. So we did look at some products from Assured Naturals today. Assured Naturals is a great supporter of the Canadians Women Foundation. And this foundation really works hard to support programs for girls and women, leading them in a positive direction in their lives. So percentage of purchases of products from Assured go to support the Canadian Women's Foundation. And that's all I have to say. Any questions? Thank you. Thanks. Any questions at all? There are vegan versions. Yes, there are. They usually come from an algae source, so that is available. Yes. We don't carry one, but there are other lines that do. Yep. Yes. So the question is just about low thyroid. So some of the things that I discussed in terms of eating iodine-rich foods, supporting your adrenals, helping the conversion of T4 to T3 with some of those nutrients like selenium, iodine, herbals such as ashwagandha, really key. So, yeah, so we're just trained differently, right? So, pardon? It is, yes, so oftentimes I mention TSH, but there's other tests that are actually should be done to test thyroid, and it's a different perspective. So we can talk after if you want to talk a little bit more specifically. Yes, I don't know who was first, but. Yeah. So I can see it being potential. It's not on this list. Maybe it's close to the dirty dozen, but this particular list doesn't have it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a high amount, right? Moderation. Everything moderation. Buying those foods is organic. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You had a comment? Yes. So is there a relationship between kidney function and adrenal glands? Yes. Even from a Chinese medicine perspective as well, the kidneys and the adrenal glands are tied. And sometimes what I do see in practice too are urinary symptoms associated with adrenal gland concerns. Yeah. Sorry, can you say that again? Just
If you have reduced function
of the kidneys.
or a non-function,
Yeah.
for example, does that limit the ability for your body to receive the benefits from the adrenal gland?
Not necessarily, because you can still restore your adrenal glands when they're in place, right? So not necessarily. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm not aware of a specific adrenal clinic here in Toronto. I could look into it for you if you'd like. But I mean, a lot of naturopathic doctors focus on adrenal health. So yeah, and do testing associated with it. Yeah. So there's some questions just back there. I do. Yep. You can come see me after. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm not trained in doing bioidentical hormones, but can play definitely a key in terms of supporting hormonal health. You just need to be tested appropriately to make sure they're being used correctly. But I have seen a lot of women who have benefited from their use, so definitely a tool that can be used. Yes, so one here and then one here. Yes. Yep, so electromagnetic fields are playing a role, and yeah, definitely in terms of overall health, are a stressor that are affecting overall brain health. If you're around tomorrow, I'm doing a talk on brain health. So that's mentioned 4:30 tomorrow, 4:30. So we mentioned that in terms of its influence on brain health and as well. Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to understand a bit more about goitrogenous.
Yeah.
You said disrupt the production of thyroid
Hormone.
by interfering with iodine uptake.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you explain a bit more about that and tell us what goitrogens are?
Okay. Can you come and talk to me after about that? Is that okay? Because we're just running out of time, so I just need to wrap up before the next talk comes in. And so you as well. Do you want to come talk to me after? Okay. All right. Thank you.